Good morning and welcome to Sports Entertainment Weekly. I'm Matt Sheehan.
Sam Gruce.
Austin Chick.
And of course, we are drinking
The
our
Red Bulls.
Now, first, we normally like to just get right to it, but today we'd like to take a quick second to talk about an event that Bear Village, our sponsor, is having this week. It's called Bears Care Day. It's Saturday, April 28th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the beautiful Bear Village Clubhouse. What is this? Well, Bear Village is partnering up with Central Bank of the Ozarks, and they're helping support local charities. They are supporting Big Brothers Big Sisters. It looks like OTO Community Thrift Store and Ozarks Food Harvest, which is a local byproduct of Feeding America to help feed people in the Ozarks who are starving and hungry. So basically, bring your gently used items and non-perishable food. Free food and drink will be here, and also drawings for cool prizes. Follow MSU Bear Village on Twitter and Instagram to find out more. All right, let's get to the sports. Sam, what we got?
Well, it's episode 6, so it's episode Sam usual. 6 is a very serious number.
Yes, it is.
So first on the docket, speaking of Sam usual, we're going to talk some baseball. We're going to start off hometown St. Louis Cardinals. They're in first place, guys.
That's music to my ears.
Isn't it, though?
Sweet chin music.
Oh, baby. But no, the starting pitching is really shaping up. Carlos Martinez is the ace that we thought he could be. His earned run average,
like in the ones.
1.42. Look out, Bob Gibson. He's coming for you. Miles Michaelis doing the things. I think he's gone 7 innings in his past 2 starts. Both against the Reds. Everyone's been saying, well, it's just the Reds. Yeah, but you're supposed to beat these teams. You're supposed to look good against
And that,
a team
to
like
me,
the
is the
Reds.
thing the Cardinals have had problems with in the past.
Right.
They lose to these horrible teams that
Last year
you
they
should be beating up on.
Last year they went 10-9 against Cincinnati. This year we're 7-0.
7-0, yeah.
So a huge change. This team is fun to watch. Ozuna, Yadier Molina,
The young,
the-
35-year-old Yadier Molina.
Jose Martinez.
Jose Martinez, Paul DeYoung, Colton Wong left the yard the other day.
Good.
So it's good to see him do that. Made a spectacular over-the-shoulder catch in short right field the other day, too. Jed Jerko's getting healthy. Adam Wainwright making a short stint on the 10-day DL with some elbow inflammation.
I think it was a retro, too. So.
Yeah, so I think they'll call up Jack Flaherty, who I'm excited to see.
Yeah.
He's got a 2.16 earn run average
He's
down
killing
in
it down in Memphis.
That Memphis rotation, I think, would be is good enough to compete at the major league level. But besides the Cardinals, there's a lot of stuff going on in baseball. On Saturday, it was Saturday or Friday? I think it was Friday night. We had the first no-no of the season out in Oakland. Sean Manaea threw a no-hitter, took him like 112 pitches. I loved it. He was on my fantasy team, so that was buku points for me. I was down by 80. I was up by 50 at the end of the night.
Nice.
Wow.
So that was awesome to see him get it, or to see him throw
Against
no-hitter.
Against the best team in the major leagues, too, the
Against the
Boston
Boston
Red
Red
Sox,
Sox.
who lost, I think, 2 of those games in that series.
To Oakland.
Having lost 2 coming into the game. This is why baseball is one of the best sports. You
Anything
never
can
know
happen.
what's going to happen.
Anything can happen. Speaking of anything can happen, one of my my most favorite player I've ever gotten to watch growing up, Albert Pujols, is 8 hits away from 3,000. 8 hits away from literally just walking into the Hall of Fame. 600 home runs, 3,000 hits, gonna have 2,000 career RBIs, a lifetime 300 batting average to walk into the Hall of Fame. Nothing they can do. Not a bad word you can say about that man.
Would you say he's one of the top 5 hitters of all time?
I'd say he's one of the top 3 hitters of all time.
Top 3? What do you think?
Top 5.
I mean, I've never seen anyone where I stop what I'm doing when he comes up to the plate. Even now, I still do it because I don't know what he's going to do. I mean, I will never forget that 2005 NLCS against the Astros when he took Brad Lidge way deep.
Yeah. Can't forget that game.
That was fantastic. His 3-homer game in the World Series in 2011, that was great. The man, come back to St. Louis, please. Like somehow get
Retire in
out
St.
of that
Louis.
contract with the Angels. Because I have to think they're gonna want, like, they're close to competing. They've got Mike Trout, showed Hey Otani, Justin Upton, Andrelton Simmons. They've got the team there, but they don't have enough pitching.
Pitching's weak.
And I think they're going to need to sign some pitchers, and I don't know if they'll be able to do that with Pujols' contract. So, he gets to that point where he's ready to call it quits. I would gladly welcome Albert Pujols back with open arms. And I was one of the people that when he left, I remember it. I was sitting in my biology class in high school. I got the update on my phone, and I put my head down, and I nearly started crying.
I was actually in my newspaper writing class in
Oh,
high
wow,
school,
journalism.
way back. But I got that notification. It was between him and the Marlins, and the Angels came out on top. And I was like, well, okay, this is kind of depressing now.
At least you didn't go to the Cubs, because that was rumored.
Yeah.
That was rumored.
That would have been 10 times worse.
So switching gears a little bit, I know that there are some playoffs going on. Let's start off on the hardwood, the
Let's
NBA.
do it. The hardwood is hard as ever, and there's some great competition. Yes, she did. And we got some great matchups. We got the NHL playoffs right now. We got the NBA playoffs. For a while we were kind of in this place where things were getting boring, but
Bit of a
now,
lull.
yeah, a bit of a lull. But now, it's the best time of the year for sports. MLB's kicking off. It's on a roll, and here we are. So let's start NBA.
Who's still in? Like,
Who's still in?
Who's been eliminated, if anyone has?
One team's been eliminated, and that is the Portland Trailblazers. I'm sorry, Damian Lillard. Maybe focus more on basketball and not on rapping.
Roasted.
No, I love Damian Lillard. I think he's extremely talented.
They
He just doesn't have
They did
that
not
team.
show up.
They didn't show up, and they got swept.
Well, by the Pelicans, correct?
Yep.
You can't beat the brow.
No.
Can't
you
beat the brow.
I loved his April Fools where he told us he was going to shave it off, and he just faked everybody out. That was great. A couple other teams still in. Cavs, Pacers tied up 2-2. That's a good series. We'll get to Lance Stevenson, LeBron James in a minute. Rockets, Timberwolves. Thought that was going to be a sweep. Timberwolves pulled a win out at home. It was a nice win. They were looking good. Last night at the beginning of the game, they were looking good. Derrick Rose was looking great. It was a close game at the half, but the Rockets took it, beating them 119-100. Jazz. That's a curveball.
They're up 3-1 on the Thunder.
3-1 on the Thunder, shutting down PG. He's still getting good numbers, but Inglis is shutting him down. Inglis is draining threes in his face and giving him the stare down. So that's like Stevenson and LeBron right there. Just in
Shutting down Westbrook, too.
Let's see. Wizards, Raptors, that's a good series, 2-2. Could care less who wins that, but I will say if the Wizards come out on top,
Say St. Louis guy on the Wizards, right?
Bradley Beal,
Beal.
Chaminade, one of my high school rivals. If the Wizards come out on top, which I would kind of like to see, because I believe that the next round they'll play either Cavs, Pacers. So if Cavs get there, I think they've got a better chance against the Wizards than the Raptors, but could be wrong. You never know with LeBron. Golden State leads the Spurs 3-1.
Do the Spurs come back?
No.
Manu went off the other night, but I think it's going to take more than Manu Ginobili going off.
Yeah, I think maybe Spurs will get one more, and then they'll go home, or they'll just lose.
Yeah, they are in Oakland tonight, so.
Yeah, that's going to be tough in the Oracle. I really like this series. This is my unexpected series that I like is the Celtics and the Bucks.
Giannis.
Being able to watch him, the Greek Freak, just do his thing, watching Middleton step up and them just all come together as a young team and start beating the Celtics, which I love.
What's the series at?
2-2.
Would this be as close if Kyrie was healthy, if
Gordon Hayward.
Gordon Hayward was healthy? Because I don't think it would be.
I don't think so.
I think the Celtics probably would have swept.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's definitely a huge what if, but that's NBA for you.
Right, it
you know?
makes for a more fun series. I think next year the Celtics win it all. I think a healthy Kyrie, a healthy Gordon Hayward. And then Jason Tatum will have a full year under his belt. I think if they get out of the first round, I think that's a huge win for them because I don't think they'll make it past the second. I think the East is just too tough.
Yeah, the East is tough this year.
I never thought. Go back to the first episode of Sports Entertainment Weekly, and I hate the East. It's always the weakest conference.
Told you guys, don't sleep on the East. And one more matchup from the East. Heat 76ers. Sixers up 3-1.
Trust the process.
I believe they've won 3 in a row. I think the Heat won the first one. Here come the Sixers, win them all. Joel Embiid's back, and he's doing well. He's doing very well. And then today, 7 p.m., they're in Philadelphia, where they can take it home.
We're going to take it.
Poor Father Time and D. Wade. At least they made the playoffs. I'm happy for D. Wade, but we will see. So tonight, couple of games to look out for. Bucks Celtics at 6, Heat 76ers at 7, Spurs Warriors 9:30, and then tomorrow Wizards Raptors, Pacers Cavaliers, Jazz Thunder, Timberwolves, and Rockets.
Wow.
So it's
a lot of basketball.
Stacked action right there.
Kind of, you touched on it. LeBron, Lance Stevenson. I seriously think Lance Stevenson's sole purpose on this earth is to just get under LeBron's skin and get in his head.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a side job.
It really is. I mean, I go back to years ago. It was like 4 years ago where he's blowing in his ear. It was fantastic.
I'd be so mad if someone did that during a game.
The Jesus out of me. But yeah, is Lance the best? Is Lance Stevenson the toughest Lance in all of sports history?
I think so. I mean, this is the one guy out of the entire NBA who can get under the King's skin. The one guy.
It takes a lot of effort.
Yeah.
And
Now, the cool thing is, like you mentioned years ago, it started and it's this build-up and it just keeps going. And, I mean, this is going to be one of those It's not even a rivalry about, like, who's better. Sorry, Lance Stevenson. LeBron's way better than you. But
LeBron, Lance Stevenson.
Yeah. And it's still just awesome to see them play against each other and bring some sort of energy and entertainment to the game. I like it. It adds for a cool effect. But I love it. So.
Well, I mean, is that all that like the NBA really entails? No one's really like. Is there a clear front runner for the championship?
I don't think so. There's a lot of people that still believe the Cavs got in them to win the East. Am I one of those people? Maybe. Sometimes, I am. Sometimes I'm not. We'll see if they win. Game 5, we got somebody who's about to come through the door. We got a special guest coming our way.
Special guest.
Hello, come on in.
Come on through.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Special guest appearance.
Yeah.
So,
I'd say, I'll put it out there. Cavs win the East. Sure, I'll say it. Don't know if it's going to happen. The West is what I'm still iffy about. I wanted to say the Rockets for a while, but
does the West still have to go through Golden State? Because I believe that they do.
I believe they do. They're going to beat
Sixers
the Spurs.
are going to win it all this year.
Sixers. Whew, trust the process. Trust the process.
It's going to be the Sixers and Houston.
So let's get into my favorite playoffs.
There we
The
go.
greatest playoffs in all of sports. The NHL playoffs. I don't care what you say, Austin. To get don't be the Lance Stevenson to my LeBron here.
You're going to start blowing in your ear.
Please don't. But no, round 2 is official. Like we've only got We've got 2 series left. Bruins, Maple Leafs, which that is shaping up. It's tied 3-3. We're going back to the Garden for Game 7.
Wow.
Whoa.
Boston blew a lead. I really like Toronto's chances.
Really? You weren't saying that a week ago.
I thought
He's flipping sides.
that Boston had the team to do it, but they've gone flat.
He's landing the plane and the wind's blowing. There's turbulence.
There's some turbulence, and I just don't think. I don't know. It's really hard. Do I think home ice advantage is going to play a huge factor in Game 7? It always does.
Mm-hmm.
unless you're the Blues a couple years ago down in Dallas where you put a six-burger on the
That
Stars.
was great.
But no, and then Caps, the Caps
Blue
Yeah.
Jackets, they won.
They won.
Ah,
I forgot about that.
yes.
So
Is this
there's
the
one
Capitals' year?
No, because here's the only way for it to be the Capitals' year is if the Pittsburgh Penguins are eliminated. That's the only way. The Pittsburgh Penguins cannot make the playoffs if you want it to be the Caps' year, because guess who Ovechkin has to go through? Sidney Crosby. And he loses that battle. He loses that battle 10 times out of 10. I'm waiting to hear some sort of historical, because there is none. The Caps cannot beat the Penguins in the second round.
I agree
It's
with that.
It's
Science.
It's science. Now, law of averages will say they will eventually. I just don't think it's going to happen. Penguins are probably my pick going forward.
To win it all?
To win it all. Three-peat. And then you look at, so first round or second round matchup, it'll be Caps, Penguins, and then winner of Boston, Toronto against the Lightning.
Ooh.
So that could be a lot. That could be a fun matchup, no matter which way you look at
I'm
it.
glad the Lightning are doing well.
Yeah, Stamkos, Nikita Kucherov. I can't even remember the other guy, but it's a Russian name. And I remember earlier in the season I was listening to the radio and they were naming them off, and I'm like, wow, it sounds like the 1980 Russian team that Team USA beat. Miracle on Ice. They're like Ovs and too many Ovs and O's and then you look out west, Jets, Predators.
That's a good.
Chris
that's a
Jericho
good series.
versus
Rusev.
Carrie Underwood. I saw they put out a tweet to each
Oh, did
other.
they really?
Or he Instagrammed to her, I think.
That's going to be a
Sweet.
fun series. The two best teams in the West facing off. And then you got the Sharks and the Knights. Go Sharks.
Golden Knights,
Knights.
baby.
Go Sharks.
Yeah.
Sharks, do not let me down. Do not let me down.
They're swimming with one gill that just ain't working anymore, and the Knights are coming through with their swords. Gonna come slice some sharks at some cybergs and put some sauce on them.
Okay, well, even if they win, even if they beat the Sharks, I don't think they beat the winner of the Jets Predators. Although, if you're the Knights, you hope that those two teams just beat the crap out of each other.
That's what I'm saying.
Um,
Go to Game 7, tire them down. But at the same time, for hockey, you don't want to wait a week.
No, you don't. So, and both the Jets and the Sharks swept their
Yeah.
series. So they've been sitting at home for a while.
They're dusty
waiting.
on the shelf.
So I normally it's just one team that sweeps and has to wait, not the other way, and not both of them. So it's a little strange, but the Jets are my pick to come out of the West.
Jets out of the West.
Jets out of in the finals.
So Jets, Penguins.
Jets and Penguins.
Jets Penguins,
Woo.
with Penguins coming out on top.
I think. What do
it'd
you
be
think? You still going with the Knights, Matt?
Knights, Penguins, Knights on top. It's going to be a great 30 for 31 year. This just team from all over the place. There's a ton of diversity, ton of inclusion. Everyone coming together for one Vegas Night Championship.
If the Vegas Golden Knights win the Stanley Cup, we will do a special edition of Sports Entertainment Weekly where I sit here and I cry. Because it is so unfair that the Knights get to win a Stanley Cup in their first year when my St. Louis Blues have been around for 50 years and have nothing to show for it.
Oh, man, that would be so awesome.
Dude, soggy sorrows. You just pour water on me and I just sit here and be sad.
I'd be crying
and wet.
tears of joy. Oh.
But no, the NHL playoffs have been a lot of fun so far. The Flyers-Penguins series turned out how I wanted it to be. It didn't go the full 7 like I thought it was going to. The Flyers just
Flyers gave them a little trouble though.
a little bit of trouble, but guys like Claude Giroux and Voracek didn't show up, and that really hurt them. Brian Elliott and Michael Norvers, not the goalie tandem that you want to see. And then the Lightning really just ran right through New Jersey.
It's not a 4-game series.
5-game series.
No.
The Devils.
Gentlemen's.
The Devils did win one game, and I think if you're a Devils fan, you have to like what you see. You went from being one of the worst teams in the league last year to in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So that's a huge step for them. And we already kind of talked about it out west. The Jets just dismantled the Wild. Honestly, the Avalanche Predators series was a lot more fun than what I thought the Preds were just going to sweep.
It was 4-2, right?
Yeah, it went to Game 6. Game 5.
That's respectable.
Game 5 was a lot of fun. The Preds were up 1-0 through the first 55 minutes, and the Avalanche scored twice in the final minutes to win it. So that was a lot of fun to watch. Okay. All right.
This is a retake because
Retake.
I just screamed in a really weird way.
Yeah,
So
please do not scream.
I don't know why I did
I
that.
think we should put that at the end for a blooper.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't ask me why I did that. All right. No noises. Is that clear?
Yeah. No noises, man.
Does everyone know it?
All right.
Okay. Here we go. Oh gosh, I'm so close to the screen.
1, 2, 3. Beautiful.
Much better.
Much better.